So Black Ops 6 Season 2 has come and gone now in the sense that all the contents and the updates, we're used to the state of Season 2 at this point, for better or for worse. But today I want to run down a handful of things that I wish I knew sooner about Season 2. A few things of trivia that may be useful to you, so drop your thoughts as we go along. Anything in here you like the sound of, or oppositely, don't like the sound of, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6 and other FPS coverage. I'd love to have in the community, but for now, let's get into it. So firstly, one of the big things that is an interesting point here is PlayStation Plus bonus bundles are still a thing as of Season 2 in Black Ops 6. So this is strange for those that don't know why, because we've seen PlayStation exclusive free packs each season the last few years. Yeah, that's fine, but it's strange because Black Ops 6 is the first game since Black Ops 3 back in 2015 that was not under a PlayStation licensing agreement. Even though publicly Microsoft, who now owns Activision and all the subsequent IPs, including Call of Duty, has been willing to sort of share the love, kind of, the prospect of PlayStation bonuses were not ever something that were going to be made because, well, Xbox owns the game now. Their big push for in-game content when attempting to make that acquisition of Activision was fairness in all content, releases, and so on. So why does Season 2 have a content pack? And to make it even more strange, it's legitimately a combination pack of two existing shop bundles. The Bloodletting bundle for 1,600 COD points and the Jungle Trooper bundle for 1,300 COD points. So 2,900 COD points for free if you're on PlayStation, but only PlayStation. Not a bad deal for those that applies to, but just odd to begin with. But hey, if you got a PlayStation, I mean, take advantage of $30 worth of free skins. The next thing I wish I knew about sooner was Dark Ops challenges still being bugged. So we've seen the unfortunate reality of challenges in Black Ops 6 being bugged, especially when it comes to multiplayer, right? I mean, the Flowing Load challenge was bugged for 2 months and was just made available to be completed as of the Season 2 update, or rather shortly after in a hotfix the night of the seasonal launch, but not with that update. Well, unfortunately, there's still a few challenges that are bugged despite 100%er and such being able to be completed now, but you might not even know about it. Dark Ops challenges are challenges that don't have their criteria for unlock publicly displayed, but just like Camo Mastery, 100% Mastery, and Optic Mastery in Black Ops 6, there's also Dark Ops Mastery that is impacted by these bugs. With Black Ops 6 multiplayer, there are 22 Dark Ops challenges, and the logical assumption would be that you need to complete all 22 of those, right? But you only need 15, which is definitely nice because some of these Dark Ops challenges are just absurdly tough or sheer endurance challenges. Like 100K, for example, is a Dark Ops challenge that requires 100,000 eliminations on your career. Now, being Master Prestige, almost level 200 with multiple days of playtime, I've got 35,000 eliminations, so you can see some of this takes ages to complete. But when you look at the list of Dark Ops challenges for multiplayer, though, the overarching challenges are tedious, but nothing too crazy hard. There's a few that definitely are insanely luck-based, things like Blunt Trauma or Double Trouble, but most are just tedious. So 15 for completion isn't so bad, except for there's still a few of those that are bugged. The 2 hardcore for hardcore and buzzsaw challenges are still bugged, which are 2 of the easier ones on your way to Dark Ops Mastery. Getting 10 kills without dying in hardcore and getting 10 triple kill medals in hardcore, both of which still are not crediting properly. So just be aware of that if you are somebody that likes to grind out these mastery things. Another thing that is definitely nice to know sooner rather than later so you can take advantage of more of these as they replenish is the free XP tokens in the shop. Still haven't figured out the rollout schedule of these. Feel like it's one every other day maybe that you'll get in the shop. They're frequent, but honestly the frequency, I'm not entirely sure of how frequent. But I've never seen 2 double up, so make sure you end up getting these while you have the opportunity to, because it's a nice way to boost your XP sort of tokens on hand and usage if you're still working for specific weapons or saving them for a rainy day. Honestly, at this point, especially weapon XP, kind of saving from now until the end of the year again in hopes that the carry forward of XP tokens ends up applying once again to the launch of Black Ops 7 or whatever COD 2025 will be. Same thing with, honestly, regular XP as well. Not as bothered as using double XP tokens now since I'm Master Prestige, but you can start stockpiling with these free ones, but the more you end up redeeming them, the more you'll end up getting coming back in your shop, it seems. Another way, as a sort of heads up, to get a ton more XP if you're interested, is to have the COD League tab with your accounts linked from here going into the future. I have a 2-monitor setup for my PC on my desk just because I like that extra added workspace to have my main monitor where I'm scripting, editing, recording stuff for the work here on the channel. And then to my right, I'll have Discord, Spotify, and when it's on, the COD League tab in the background, because every single hour that you have credited as watch time, I don't know if they've implemented a cap just yet. In the past, they didn't, which is how I've ended up with absurd amounts of XP totaling over 10 days, and that's after using tokens for all of the launch window for weapons and regular XP, but every hour you get an alternating hour of double XP and double weapon XP tokens. You don't need to have the audio on stream, don't even need it to be in the forefront of the monitor, but just to make sure the feed is going, you'll get credit. So little pro tip there as well for additional XP gains. Another thing I wish I knew about sooner was the additional detailed statistics of Season 2. This was in the patch notes, but honestly, kind of as a little footnote. Wasn't something that was like a big marquee item of the Season 2 update, but off first glance, when you look at the new detailed stats, it's a lot more detailed. However, how useful those stats are may be up to interpretation. You have less in terms of the fire rate category, removing the minimap, firing ping, and target flinch details, but way more in the accuracy and handling departments. Accuracy now also includes jump, slide, and dive hip fire max spreads, first shot recoil scale, kick reset speeds, aiming idle sway and sway delay, and flinch resistance. Handling now has jump aim down sight speeds detailed, dive to fire speeds, and jump sprint to fire speeds, while interestingly removing the empty reload quickness category, something that I do think was actually kind of beneficial to know. So on one hand, some of these may seem arbitrary and not like the best things to add, but also removing a couple of other things, while kind of cluttering up the UI a bit, so I guess it may be beneficial to some. I guess it's just a matter of if you pay attention to the detailed stats or not. Another thing that I wish I knew sooner, more so going into Season 2, was that the first iterations here of challenge tracking is kind of useless still. Like, it's a nice addition to have, don't get me wrong. I like having on hand the ability to see at least something, but right now in the current iteration, challenge tracking still isn't all that great because it only showcases one challenge at a time and in the in-game menu widgets. You have to actually go into your challenge menus to see that option to see all 10 tracked displayed at a time. Not expecting a fix for this until at least Season 2 Reloaded, which is unfortunate, but also, given that we're so close to that apparently, with the length of the season, which we'll touch on in a second, it looks like we'll be seeing Season 2 Reloaded not this upcoming week, but the week following. So it's not the biggest deal if it is waiting until the Season 2 Reloaded update, but still, I'd love for this thing to be something that worked from the get-go. Beyond that, for those that may not be paying too much attention to it, another nice thing to know with Season 2 is there's more weapons to skip the camo grinding. To date, once we get the TR2, we'll end up seeing 2 rifles, 2 SMGs, 1 LMG, 1 marksman rifle, 1 sniper rifle, 1 shotgun, 1 special, and 2 melee weapons before the mid-season update of Season 2. So that means you can have a solid number of weapons in combinations to skip certain categories going for gold, diamond, dark spine, dark matter, or their equivalents across zombies and Warzone as well. So with this, you take 2 additional rifles, 2 additional SMGs, you could skip the entire category of marksman rifles, or the sniper category, or the shotgun category if you'd like to. And that number's only going up in the future. So that's definitely something that's nice to be aware of here with Season 2 if you are still doing any camo grinds. Like me, I'm doing Nebula. I've already kind of gotten a lot of the base weapons done, so it doesn't help me out too much, but once I end up getting to Warzone, I can skip a lot of those annoying weapons. And in a similar fashion, another thing that's nice to know is this logic also applies to streaks and streak mastery. So I've completed 100%er. I'm passively going for 100% completion of everything in multiplayer, just because honestly, I'm already incredibly close as is. I don't know that I would go for this if I wasn't, but that includes mastery for Dark Ops, Optic Mastery, which is the furthest thing away I'm still from, and then the Mastery Badges. Mastery badges require those various levels of completion from kills, destroys, and so on that once outside of the weapons category, the next largest category to complete for Diamond in that calling card for completing it is score streaks. And if you're like me, I'm a creature of habit that I've almost always run non-lethal informational-based streaks. So for this game, it's like the Scout Pulse, UAV, and HARP, and their equivalents in years prior. Not really deviating too much from that. So tackling a required 18 streaks is kind of a mental overhaul to consciously do something that I wouldn't normally. And not to mention, some of the streaks are just not super fun. Like the ones that come to my mind are the Interceptors, a streak that was more expensive in the past. It's now been adjusted so it's not as expensive now, but still has its oddities in the way that if you can get a set of Interceptors, you're probably doing well in that match. And it's a counter streak, so it destroys aerial score streaks from the enemy team. But to get multiple passes and destroys of this would indicate that you have to be doing not good for the enemy team to be getting a ton of streaks. So it's kind of a conundrum streak that you feel like you're wasting a streak slot and just making snail's pace progress towards taking out a UAV, or at best like a UAV and a counter UAV each use. But now in Season 2, we have 2 additional streaks that are now live that you can supplement that with. Either the hand cannon, super easy to get Mastery Gold for, and the War Machine, which as of recording this, haven't had much time to play around with it in-game, prepping for an extended time away from my setup, getting videos ready for a vacation, but in private match playing with it early, you should probably be able to make progress to this faster than the Interceptors at least, despite it being more expensive. So bear that in mind if you're looking to complete additional mastery elsewhere. It can be made easier. And finally, the last thing here that's definitely nice to know is this is a shorter season. That means less time to complete your battle pass, less time to end up seeing in between updates for, again, the mid-season update, likely coming not this upcoming week, but the week following. So just know that you might, if you want to complete everything this season, might need to play a little bit more in a condensed amount of time. We've seen double XP as of this weekend, but as the result of a shorter season, kind of surprised that we haven't seen anything in regards to double battle pass XP thrown in just yet with this weekend's update. Probably we'll see that at some point throughout, maybe after the mid-season update and getting ready towards looking at Season 3, like the sort of final week or so. Maybe we'll see that, but just know that you'll have to keep that in mind if you want to complete everything. Now, one final footnote is that it's since been adjusted, but I do want to mention it just in case it is something that still is a relevant issue, is that Black Ops 6 has been blue screening PCs since the Season 2 update. It was mentioned that a fix went out for this, but whether or not that's fully fixed the issue, personally, I've not had a time, again, prepping so much content for the next 2.5 weeks that I'm going to be away, or rather trying to get ahead of schedule by that much time. Haven't had as much time to jump in and play the game to double check that, but just be conscious of that as well. But that is a handful of things here that I wish I knew sooner about Season 2 that can be beneficial to you. Some trivia that maybe you can use, maybe not. But anyways, just wanted to share that stuff with you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe for more Black Ops 6 and other FPS coverage. I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.